What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in and welcome to part 3 of the BMW 530i rebuild. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing below. I've done a series on a E39 that I found locally on Craigslist, and I was going after the cooling issue that it was having. I ended up taking off the intake manifold and replacing the 2 cooling lines that sit under it. And then in the most recent video, I took off the intake manifold gasket, replaced it. We put that back on the car. I filled it up with coolant again, and I discovered a leak. So I ended up replacing the expansion tank as well as the auxiliary pump, hoping that that would solve the issue of the extra pressure in the radiator. And in this video, we're going to be addressing and seeing if it has a blown head gasket or if I just overfilled it when I was bleeding it. So without further ado, let's get this video started. I'm going to show you a couple clips of the next day, and hopefully it's not that blown head. So let's go check it out, guys. Alright, so now I'm testing the AC. The heat was great. The AC is looking great. It's not overheating at all, so I'm going to take it on the spin around the block, see what happens. See, I'm on my little test drive right now, and the AC is running great. The temperature gauge is right in the middle where it should be, and everything is looking good. So, it was not a blown head gasket. It was just that auxiliary pump. But, I'm gonna take it back to the shop and we'll see what happens. Really, really good. Everything feels great. What's up, guys? So great news. It ended up not being the head gasket, which is a really, really good thing. Fingers crossed. I was so scared of that. What ended up happening was I overfilled it too much when I bled the system. So what happens is when you start up the car and it warms up, it's a pressurized system. When you have way too much coolant in there, it's going to start oozing out the top like it did. On top of that, you got to remember there's coolant in the block. So even if you take out all the coolant from the radiator, you're still going to have coolant that's sitting in the block that you got to pay attention to. So with that being said, I overfilled the system too much, and it caused that to come out the cap and the expansion tank because you had so much pressurized coolant in that system. So that's what ended up happening. Changing the auxiliary pump for sure helped a lot, but after I let it cool down and I let all that extra coolant seep out, it started up fine and it cooled fine, no leaking whatsoever. So that was really good news that I was really excited about. And it ended up being a successful rebuild. I mean, it was a great process. I really learned a lot during this rebuild. I appreciate everybody for following the series. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys learned something from these videos. So thank you guys so much again for watching. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, and thank you so much.